All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Don't have much, if any, information update-wise for you on any of the injuries that occurred today. I'll get that to you as soon as we can here next time we meet, but time is yours.
Sean, you played a lot of twos there to start the game. What was your takeaway from the offense in particular?
Yeah, I thought both quarterbacks were impressive. Short run-up practice time. I thought the coaches did a really good job of getting them functional, and I tip my cap to those guys. They went in and executed. Were able to run the offense, get us into somewhat of a rhythm, and multiple drives there. And KJ Hamler, Zach Davidson both came into some roles that we don't normally use them in because we were out of running backs basically at one point. So applaud those guys as well as the offensive staff for being adaptable in those situations, and really the whole team. I mean, these guys have really worked hard for since the spring, several months. The effort's been outstanding. The effort today, no different. Another result wasn't what we all wanted, and what they wanted in particular, but they gave it their all, and I'm extremely proud of each and every one of them, and they're going to be successful, whether they play here, play somewhere else, do something else. I'm convinced of that. So feel good about that.
What did you see, or what did you like from Ben on the two scoring drives, the field goal that he led and then the touchdown?
Yeah, he just looks like he's in command. Again, last week in Pittsburgh, when he had a similar run up to what Anthony had this week with his time on task in our offense, just in command, not fazed by anything. It wasn't too big, and played smart football.
How much of what you saw today actually factors into ultimately decisions made come Tuesday?
Well, it's a part of it, John, right? You don't just discount it just because it's the last preseason game and we automatically just quickly, when I get back over at the office, move on to the first game of the season. So you want to extrapolate out what we need to from this game, whether it's personnel, schematics, situational things that we can learn from this game as well.
What did you make of Frank Gore Jr.'s day?
Thought he did some good things as well. It's unfortunate that he went down towards the end of the game there, but ran hard, and gave us some juice in there.
How have you seen him kind of grow from the time he got here up through today?
Yeah, probably just like most rookies, probably more and more comfortable as the training camp wore on, and then preseason 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3 as well, and just getting more and more comfortable in our run game and our system.
Coach, what did you think of Daquan Harvey's decision-making on returns today?
Vastly improved and needed. Again, similar to Frank and other rookies, really, that game 1, had some moments, some real teachable moments. Game 2, better, but still some teachable moments. Today, we're checking some serious boxes there, and so that's really good to see, and credit Day and the coaches.
Hey, Sean, when you practice next week, either twice or once, what do you want to get out of it going into the Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, we will practice multiple days, and it's a transitionary week, at least at the start of it, with the roster decisions that need to be made, and then you have practice squad players that will be targeting that aren't able to be necessarily in the building for, I think it's that one day there, give or take, based off when you do cuts, and then so you're also trying to wait for them to get back in order to have practice and have a full complement of numbers out there. So, but big picture wise, Ron, it'll be us continuing to move forward and getting ourselves ready, making sure we're ready to go for game 1.
How difficult are the next couple of days for you? Obviously, it's a business, as we hear all the time, but there's also, a personal side to it as well.
Extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. The relationships that we're blessed to have formed with these young men, it's the conversations you're able to have, whether it's in spring or at St. John Fisher at camp or on a trip to Pittsburgh, in the off times and the gaps in between the schedules and the meetings, and you get a chance to learn that these guys are real human beings with real lives that they're trying to make it right, and so you feel for them. And this is a tough business. As I said a few minutes ago, and this is some of what I shared with them last night, is they're all going to be just fine, no matter what happens. And that's important to know. Do you think the skills that these guys pick up through playing the game of football, all the life skills you pick up, I wanted them to know that they're prepared either way. For whatever happens, they'll be prepared and they're going to be just fine.
Sean, this is obviously a huge collaboration over the next couple of days with Brandon, but you personally, how do you approach it, balancing what a guy can do for you now versus maybe some of these younger players that are still developing and maybe projecting what they'll mean to you in down the road, a season or two?
You always want to keep both in mind. And as you mentioned, sometimes for one side, and let's just say scouting, it's always, hey, let's keep the longer vision, and then coaches, let's keep the shorter vision. And so at the end of the day, what's best for the team, I know Brandon and I believe this, is fitting it together, right? And making decisions that are best, both short-term and long-term, for the good of the club overall.
And when you call on KJ, is he literally working with Skip on the sidelines about a couple of
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we called that timeout, but we were out of backs, and so wanted to get a run in there, and KJ was great, and did a great job getting to the edge there, and brought some juice, man, some good energy. So when Joe called on him, and he was like, "What do you need me for?" And we're like, "Hey, run the ball." He's like, "Let's go, baby!" Right? So that's KJ. So it was awesome to see. And then you saw the response from his teammates on the sideline. Pretty cool.
Hey, Sean, you said you had confidence in Tyler, but again, today, you wanted a chip shot, obviously, but it's a miss.
Yeah. Those are ones, he's got to make. Sal, he knows that. So looked like it faded a little bit to the right there. So that's a kick he's going to practice a million times, I know, this week, and that's one we've got to have. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sean.